For 104 years, the official record said NFL games are decided by what happens on the field, but the league office made sure you'd never find the paragraph buried in their own rulebook that gives a single person the legal authority to erase any result in the history of the sport. That's the story they tell. It isn't what happened. Someone made sure you'd never hear this. Here's what the records were written to hide. The NFL was founded in 1920. 28 men in a Hupmobile showroom in Canton, Ohio, sitting on running boards, deciding the rules of a sport that barely existed. They needed a structure, and like every monopoly that has ever existed, they wrote some of those rules in plain sight and buried the ones that mattered. What you know about the NFL is a surface layer, the play clock, the catch rule they've changed 3 times, the roughing calls that make no sense in November. What you don't know is that somewhere inside the official NFL rulebook is a clause that was never announced, never explained to fans, and never printed in any sports section anywhere in this country. Called the Palpably Unfair Act provision. And it doesn't just let officials make a judgment call, it lets them invent one. The exact language says, if any player, coach, or non-player commits an act that is palpably unfair, the referee, one man with a microphone, can award a score that never happened, can give points to a team that didn't earn them on the field, can override what 70,000 people inside that stadium just watched with their own eyes. That's already extraordinary. But the provision doesn't stop there, because the rule isn't just about what the referee decides. It's about who tells the referee what fair means. Since 2019, the NFL's officiating department, not the referee on the field, not the replay official at the stadium, but league executives sitting in a building in New York City, can communicate directly with the crew chief during any instant replay review. They can tell him what they see. They can recommend what he rules. That isn't announced over the PA. It isn't on the scoreboard. You were never told that was happening on the field you've been watching. Now here's where you might say, that's just quality control. The league wants accurate calls. That makes sense. But that explanation requires you to believe the NFL is a neutral party in the outcome of its own games. It isn't. The NFL negotiates television contracts worth $113 billion. It operates gambling partnerships with multiple sportsbooks. It has direct financial interests in which teams reach January, which matchups fill stadiums, which stars stay healthy enough to carry a ratings week. And the people communicating with referees in real time during reviews work directly for the commissioner. That isn't an independent official making a ruling. That's the league's own employee deciding what you just saw. But that's not the part they buried. Every season, the NFL's officiating department issues what they call points of emphasis, internal directives telling referees which rules to enforce more aggressively and which to allow to slide. These documents are never released to the public, never mentioned in press conferences, never posted anywhere you can find them. Former officials have confirmed they exist. The NFL has never denied it. They simply don't discuss it. In 2019, Dean Blandino, the NFL's former vice president of officiating, said on the record that officials are given specific guidance each season about what the league wants called and what the league wants left alone. The language he chose was careful. The implication was not. Those points of emphasis change outcomes. A holding call officials were instructed to let slide in October becomes the flag that erases a touchdown in January. Same play, same field. Different instruction from New York, different game. And buried even deeper than that is the clause in the NFL's own governing documents that grants the commissioner authority to investigate and to declare any game result null and void if he determines the integrity of the competition was compromised. He decides what compromised means. He decides what the investigation finds. He decides how much of it you're told. No independent review, no outside arbitration, one man. That matters because of what it cost the people actually playing. Ask any offensive lineman from the 2019 season. Holding rules shifted mid-year in a way that collapsed running games for specific teams, not because players changed anything. Because the points of emphasis changed, careers shortened, contracts came up short, season records bent in a direction nobody on the field could explain. The players didn't know why calls felt different. The coaches running film didn't know. The analysts doing post-game breakdowns didn't know. They weren't supposed to know. And none of it technically violates a rule because the organization doing it wrote the rules. The rulebook is public. The directives are not. The transparency is the cover story. So here's what you still don't know. The current points of emphasis for this season have never been released. They never are. Somewhere in a building in New York, decisions have already been made about what you're allowed to see on that field. The question isn't whether the rule exists. You just read it. The question is who it has already cost and whether anyone inside that building will ever say so.